We all know what has happened in relation to this prank call that was made to the hospital by the two DJs who work on the show formerly known as the Hot 30, heard not just on Today FM, but it is heard all the way around the two-day network as part of the Southern Cross Austereo radio company. We have also seen this evening the two people at the heart of it, the two people responsible for the call, putting their case, and you'll see part of that very shortly. I gave quite a lengthy summation of what my instant reaction to this was on this channel on Saturday morning. If you want to look back over that, it's quite lengthy, and it is on our Facebook page at Paul Murray Live. But can I say off the start what I, to be honest, have heard universally? I've heard it universally on television, on radio. I've seen endless articles about it, and to be honest, it's where I think the majority of people are who are watching this conversation now a couple of days on. No one thought that this was going to happen. The call never should have happened. Clearly, the processes that were supposed to stop a call like this making it to air failed, and as a consequence, these two radio announcers will no longer have that show. The company has got rid of a 30-year radio franchise in the Hot 30, and also there is global opinion on this particular issue. Now, I believe that there is obvious blame that needs to be shared, but also we are now at a moment after we have heard from the company, we have heard from the hospital, we have heard from the nurse's family, we have heard from the announcers, we have even heard in statement form from the Prime Minister for a collective calm down here. You cede the moral high ground if you decide to hurl abuse and hateful abuse at these two radio announcers. Their careers will be forever linked to this, but more importantly, for the rest of their lives, they have to live with this mistake. But unlike many of the radio stunts that have been spoken about and thrown into the same basket as this was not malicious. It was stupid, it never should have happened, and it was a silly prank, a silly joke. It was not a malicious attempt to embarrass anyone, and certainly there was no one who thought that what has happened could have happened, let alone was going to happen. Now, in the coming days, there will be further pressure on the company. Tomorrow there will be radio ratings, and that again will give the story one more day. We are still yet to hear the full story from England, and we are, in my opinion, not fully across exactly how the hospital handled this in the days after. It is too simple, however, to say that the call happened and 4 days later the nurse committed suicide. It's too easy to say that simply those are the only two events that have happened in the past few days. What happened, of course, in those 4 days was that there was global attention and replay and almost an echo chamber effect of that silly call that never should have happened. The English press, who now are so pious and trying to go after these two announcers, were partially, in fact, I think, significantly responsible for the echo chamber effect of this call being replayed and replayed and replayed and replayed. You remember when we spoke about it on the show last week, I thought it was too good to be true. I thought the call itself was a hoax, but clearly it wasn't. And the English media, who now want to exclusively blame for the global embarrassment the two radio announcers and the company that they work for, are completely ignoring their own role in all of this. This is big, this is complicated, this is not black and white. This has received worldwide attention, and remember, this also received Prince Charles himself not endorsing the joke, but certainly tipping his hat to it when he got in front of reporters and he himself made reference to whether or not the reporters knew that he was from a radio station or not. The royals seemed to take this not in good humour, but certainly didn't seem to be as offended as everyone seems to have now been on their behalf. I repeat, this is an awful situation, but also it is time for the people who think that they have the high moral ground to take a good hard look at themselves and back off. The radio station needs to change the way that it does business, and they have tonight announced that no longer these prank calls will take place. That is a very good thing. I'll get into the complexities of this issue shortly, and I'll tell you about what I remember this company to be when I worked for them years ago. Now, if you just want to dismiss this conversation as, well, I'm just sticking up for my mates and the people that I used to work for, well, you're not really paying attention to what this discussion is going to be. There are a lot of complexities, and there is more than just two people to blame in all of this, including plenty of the people who are waving their fingers so aggressively tonight were part of the global embarrassment by replaying and replaying and replaying that call and endlessly talking about it for days and days and days.